How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have about 6 days until the Friday after Thanksgiving, which is when we start our Christmas light display. So finally, I'm giving you guys a behind-the-scenes tour on how I do it all. And this is all using the Mr. Christmas controller. Here, we have no controllers in here, but this is how everything works. We have our FM transmitter here, of course, which goes to our antenna, which is behind here, just by the window, so we get the best signal possible. Extension cord, which runs all the way back to the main outlet of the garage. We have 2 outlets, so just to distribute the power. We have a clock, tells me the time, also has a radio station, so I know that the music's playing well in the cars. A light here, just so I can see things better. We have a Husky 5-outlet splitter, turn that on. We also have a surge protector, which everything goes through first. And so I'm going to tell you, so we have our FM transmitter, we have the clock, we have our light, and we just have a few extras. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but we'll find out. This goes out to our main controller, which I'll go to in a minute. And another plug that comes to the garage goes out to our moving heads over there. And another cord comes through here, which comes to the FM transmitter, which is from the controller. So all that stuff comes out here. It's under just a flower pot. I wasn't trying not to spend too much money. So in here's our Mr. Christmas controller. Don't need that stuff. All our outlets at 6 ports, so all of that goes out to there. I have some chasers which also connect to it, which go to our bushes and everything like that, just to get some extra effects. So in here, you have the power, and if you look in here, sorry it's bad, but you see 2 audio jacks. And how I did that is I got a lock, which you can use for subs for your car and everything like that. And that actually, you cut the 2 speaker terminals inside the Mr. Christmas, because this is meant to just be by the road and play for everyone who's walking by to hear. But you cut those, and you wire the lock to it, and that goes all the way back to the FM transmitter, and that works great. There's no static or anything like that. But without the lock, you'll probably get static because you're not having it's just not going to get the right speaker signal, so that's not going to work well. So over here are our new moving heads. We wired these to the basketball hoop, actually. That's what I did. And these are the 100-watt U-King moving head beams. So not super bright, but you can see them from the end of the driveway on the road, so we're cars, so that's no problem. So this cord comes out here. And actually, I'm going to show you how these work. These aren't really connected to the show, but they're always on. So I have a 192 512 DMX controller from Rockville. I have multiple of these. They're great. And that all comes in here. They're all plugged in like that. And that goes up. Again, that controller is not waterproof, so make sure you have a bin. And that comes up here. DIY waterproof connectors. And those go up there. And it all plugs into moving heads and DMX signal. So as soon as I turn on the show and everything starts, those go on. These are not waterproof, by the way. So actually what I did, if I zoom in here, you can tell I waterproofed them myself. Each one has I put a plastic wrap over it, and then I duct taped. So waterproof duct tape, so it's not going anywhere, and it's all over the light. So if you look at where there would be screws, there's waterproof joints on the lens. I put some waterproof sealant. Really, from far away, you can't tell that there's like plastic. But I put it over, I left it clear where the buttons are, so you can still see the panel and everything when they're on. And those look great, and they're really fast, they move well. All right, here's where we get to the main show. If you're still watching, this is where it gets really complicated. So, yeah. So everything has their controllers. They're labeled either in alphabet letters or in numbers. So the first one here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or A, B, C, D, E, F. That comes out here. These cords are waterproof. It's fine. They're outdoor rated cords, obviously. But I still put this just in case. I mean, we have a company, so that's gonna shovel our driveway and stuff. So everything has to be, you know, if a shovel hits this, you don't want it, because there's the metal blade shovel, so you don't want anything like cutting or, you know, making an incision in the wires. So I put these just to protect it, so if a shovel hits it, nothing's gonna happen because it's a nice foam thing. I'm just gonna describe it now. Everything you see in the show that has red tape on just shows that it has electrical. But that's the problem. So that's why the cord's over there for now, because if it snows and anything, I gotta be here and make sure I'm home. Because if, you know, the plow is gonna come over here like that, and it's just gonna push all the snow that way, and they're not gonna see that cord when the driveway's fully covered. That's the only problem. And so I could have went all the way around the house to an outlet over there, but I didn't have enough extension cords. I already had to buy more, and that was expensive in and of itself, so I let that go. So we're gonna start over the house here. Here we have our white lights. These are on a chaser, which goes back to the controller. You probably guys wonder why there's a bucket. That's just because the lock and the audio cable aren't waterproof, so that had to be there so we don't have any problems. We have DIY window frames. These are actually from a tent, and that's how I had to zip tied them and weighted them down. Over here we have a wreath. Over here we have more window frames, obviously. And I ran out of extension cords, so I had to make a custom loom of lights here that actually go down back to the controller, and they go here. And I dug a little channel of dirt behind there, threw them back there. Over here we have more white lights. We got a wreath here, comes down, another port. We got lights on the tree here, bushes here. But yeah, more wires coming over. I know I'm talking fast, guys, but I'm trying to make this video as quick as possible. There's a lot to cover, and a little time, and you know, I want people to watch the whole thing, you know. Here we got floods. White is way too bright, so I bought red and green bulbs I'm gonna be putting in here. There's one here and one over there, which is covered right now because there's no bulb in it, and rubber circle thing inside that keeps water out of the socket disappeared, so I had to order a new one of those. Here's lights, which go around here, custom. I wouldn't even call it a matrix. I mean, there's not even that many strands on it, but these are over here, and these come out from a controller. Here's our Megasphere. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. This is also on a chaser. It's not just so it can flash with everything else, or it can chase, and that's cool. So it would, with the lights on it, the PVC pipe would always, you know, it would get weighted down, and the circle would start looking like an oval. So eventually I just put some turnbuckles and a winch, and that keeps it from falling down and keeps it circular. And every wreath we'll cover in the show is DIY. So that one has PVC pipe circle in it, and I just bought like 5 strands of 100 feet of tinsel, and I just wrapped it around those. So every wreath you see is not store-bought. I made it myself. I put more arches. They're smaller than the ones up front that I'll cover in a minute. And as you can see, it's going to get confusing here, guys, in the show. I mean, look at all these wires we got. But the one thing I like about this year is I organized them all. So green goes are stuff that are the farthest. So green goes to the front, orange goes to the middle and back. This is just a little tree I made. This is an old tent, as you can tell, and I just hammered that in, all plugged in. Another little flower pot there. Here's some custom poles that we made, and another controller, which is under there. So we got mini matrices here, which is cool. Another controller, chasers in there, as well as over here. We got another star, and that looks great. This is a 100 bulb star. Again, dead strand, but power still flows through them even when the lights don't work, so I still use that. And as you can see, all of the punches. These stars I made by myself. Everything I made myself. I want to make a huge shows for the littlest money as possible. One thing new about this year is everything's LED. Over here's a mini Christmas tree. The stand broke. It used to be our inside one, but we got a new tree, so I put it outside and I put some lights on it. It's a cute little tree, but it just fills in some extra space we have. Here's the biggest new thing this year. Oh, and I forgot to go back to that sphere. That is a prop that has one of the most lights. It's 1,200 lights on there. This is a 1,020 LED mega tree. And this runs back to a cord, which goes back to my computer, which is also hooked up to the audio of the Mr. Christmas. You come in here. This is a DIY screw box I put, and waterproof. This is this is a power supply. You got the main brains of this tree as well, which is another controller. And there's a QR code on here, which you can use to control it from your phone or an app. The app is called Super Pix, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's 20 feet tall, so it's massive. Over here is a DIY tree. I have two of them. These are 8 strands, so 800 lights each. Pounded in the ground, support thing. DIY star, which was actually the right type of board, so these are waterproof. Nothing's gonna happen to these. I can use these for years. This runs to a cord. They're both connected, so they have one solid color, and they also both have a chaser, so they can chase. I'm gonna have to screw that down. Over here, another wreath. 200, I'm sorry. But the reason I switched to LED, and I recommend if you use a Mr. Christmas, is incandescents use 3 times more power than LEDs, and one strand connected to all these LEDs, just one strand of incandescents cause LED strands to be dim and like flash. So just one strand can ruin a couple props, so you got to get rid of that. The only thing you'll find that is incandescent in the show is the Tune 2 sign, which I'll go to in a minute. But yeah, these are my trees. Let me get them from the front real quick. And yeah, but that's what I like about the show this year. Everything is LED. The whole show is 2 times brighter. It's gonna look great. Here are arches, all green. I wish I could have put more lights on here, but switching to all LED in 1 year, as well as expanding and getting more props, as you can tell, is very expensive in and of itself. So each thing is pretty much one solid color, except a couple props. All right, over here we have 24 candy canes. These are also connected. The only problem with these is there's a slight delay, but there's something about this black box. It just delays it. It's not just this, it's everything. Like, you get an inflatable snowman or Santa, just one of those inflatables you put out in the yard. You turn it on. I mean, it takes a minute for the light and fan to turn on. So I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. I might have to look into that. I'll let you guys know. But not in this video. Over here, another wreath made of myself. All the wreaths you'll see. That tree I didn't. That thing is store-bought. But yeah, we have more lights up here. I don't know what's going on with these, but yeah. It wraps around the tree. Over here is new this year. We have peace stakes, people call. So there's a mini like light white flasher light in here. It's hard to see. It's really small, but that's on each one of these poles. And then all the strands going across are purple lights. Bunch of stuff. I can't even explain it. I told you guys I'm not going into any of the computer software stuff in this video. And as you can tell, I'm getting ready to upgrade in the next coming years to Smart Pixels, which will be all computerized. It's way more expensive, but it's fine. Here's our Tune 2 sign. It is, I don't know how many lights it is, but 6 strands of 100. There's about 20 that aren't used, so I'm gonna guess it's about 540 lights. I have my channel on 88.5. Most light shows do. I don't know why, but yeah, 88.5 FM. It's great. Can tell what it is even when the lights aren't on. And this is from Holiday Coro. This song, guys, I'm sorry, I can't talk today. It was $70. Lights not included. The thing I told you guys with flashing incandescents with the show never worked. So this, the moving heads, and the computer software stuff in the garage is all on a separate outlet for that reason. So none of my LEDs are flashing, and getting messed up. Yeah, because I had that problem last year with some of them dimming because we had all incandescents. It was all incandescent. And lights would be flashing inside the house, and it just wasn't ideal. I mean, the kitchen lights would be flashing. I mean, the fam room lights would be flashing. It was just so much power. Here is a view of the whole show. And again, you can see how big that mega tree is compared to the rest of the house. Get all that. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. If you guys have any extra questions, let me know. But yeah.